we'll cut that bit out. So what we are going to try to do today is design Instagram. In an interview or in general, you need an image processing, image storing app. It's mainly image storing more than image processing. Where do you think we should start with? There's two primary approaches where we can start with. One is to go from the database side to the client side. That's the old approach where you draw an ER diagram and you have everything ready on the database side, backend, and then you make the server, and then finally you say, "Acha, requirements kya the?" That's one way. The second way is to start from the client side, and you say that these are the features I need, these are what my services will be able to do, and based on that you start adding services as and when required. And then you head to the database depending on what kind of data do you need. Which one would you prefer? Second one? Okay. What kind of features are we looking for over here? Storing images? You need this, right? You want profiles? Name, description. So profiles to be stored. We won't go for going live right now. It's pretty complicated in a system, but yeah, that's also possible. Sorry? Comments on the images. You'll probably also have likes along with it. Messaging, direct messaging, perhaps. Anything else?
Following list.
Your following list. So you want to see your followers. The followers will have a list. You'll have a list of followers. The important thing about the followers is that whenever you post, they should be notified. Filters. So when you're storing images, you also need to add filters. Okay, this is going to be interesting because this requires some sort of heavy computation. Fields? Feed. News feed. Okay. So amongst the followers should be able to see a feed of whoever they are following. Okay, so that is news feed. We'll stop here. 6 features. Good enough? Okay. Also, we'll probably be coming up with features as we go along. Storing images. What do you think is a good way to store images?
Compression.
You can compress the images. That's a good idea. So after compression also, you have, after setting the format, compression, everything, you still have a pretty large object. Where are you going to store it? Which one will you choose? How many say file? 1, 2. This one is half. 1, 2. How many say blob? 2, 3. Okay. Rest all are interested in understanding which one is the what's the difference. But okay, why blob? I can ask why file also, but file is the correct answer. That's why I'll go for blob.
We have to manage atomicity and consistency also.
Would you be interested in atomicity for an image store?
What?
Would you be interested in any? Can you think of any transaction where an image comes in?
But we still need data integrity, right?
Data integrity, yes. But what kind of integrity are you talking about?
For a file system, you can delete any data by just maybe there's a bad file merge or something. There's any disk issue, the file can be deleted and it fucks up the database. So if you have an image which is indexed as ID1 and it's stored in a file system and you want to access that, so an issue will come up if some other issue rather than the database deletes that file.
Yes. So one of the things is security, permissions, and all that. You can take care of that using good access control mechanisms. The kind of access control mechanisms, writing those is almost as complicated as writing the database access control. One thing that I'll say is you shouldn't store you need to store some reference, some pointer to the image. So you'll probably be storing the file ID or the file location, basically, and based on this, you can store it in a file system, the image in the file system. This should be almost as good as storing it in the database itself, because on top of this, you can have a cache, which is a static cache, maybe a CDN or something, which can actually give these things. A database is not so good at actually providing these kind of layers. Activity handler. One comment. You have the comment ID with this. You have the text. You have the parent ID. Can the client send you the parent type on which they're commenting? Yeah.
Comment ID can't be sent, right?
Comment ID, yes. It can't be sent actually. It can be sent, can't be sent, sort of. You can generate a UUID and kind of assume that there's no chance in the universe that somebody else has come up with this. So you could send it.
You can't rely on the client to generate parent type.
Yes. What?
Can parent type be sent by client?
Parent type. So when you're clicking on the thing, you kind of know.
Should it be sent?
Exactly.
It can be
Right.
sent, but should it
Right.
be sent?
Right, actually, that's a good question.
So because the source of truth is our service, not
Source of truth is the server, yeah.
we can have that convention based.
Okay, yeah. But then you are sending it basically from the client. You have just coupled the thing.
So basically, I have to, let's say I have a foreign relationship in my DB.
Hmm.
So if he's sending something which is, let's say convention based, so the post starts with a P.
Okay.
And whatever ID. So
Indirectly, you're sending, dude. Come on now.
I'm just taking an example. So
Right.
you can just verify by the foreign key relationship that the data is consistent.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, that's good. How about you do that when the person has sent the parent type? With that parent type, you kind of figure out the foreign key. Yes, you do the validations. Yes, so you're right. There's one important thing about any system. Validations need to be done all the time. Okay, you need to make sure that your data is correct, and what the client is sending we don't trust, not because we don't trust the client, we don't trust the guy who's handling the client. There's an image which has a lot of likes. How do you figure out that? How many likes does it have now in this system? You three, shut up. Anything? Anyone?
So there are two ways.
Direct messaging. बात करना चाहते हो? Yes. Which kind of sockets do we use? Which one? XMPP is the type of message that you're sending. There's a kind of web socket that you're using. There's a kind of it's web socket. Yeah. That's why you shouldn't interrupt me when I'm going after the clients. But okay, web socket. With this, you can send your messages. What's the advantage of web socket again?
It's a keep alive connection. Two ways.
Right.
You don't need to do handshake every time.
Right. Plus, the client and server are very well defined in the HTTP protocol. In this case, server, it's a peer-to-peer thing.
It's UDP.
No, it's TCP. This is free, by the way. Damn it. Newsfeed to followers? Don't have nails. We have almost the entire architecture built up. Now comes the most difficult bit, but I think we can do it. Yeah, we want a newsfeed where you're getting images of everyone who you follow. I think a hybrid approach is good. I think both of you have great points. Very good.
So maintaining a queue, you will have to.
Yeah, you'll have to make the query. Yeah. So I think their approach is good. You're of course having your own points. That's correct. If there's a user who's not using it much, right? You shouldn't store it in the messaging queue. You shouldn't store it in that queue. And exactly, I agree. We are like the queue is a cache for us, and maybe you have 100, 200 queues which are for really active users. Now, because of that, that needs to be cached somewhere.
Celebrities can be like a global cache, like something like your most popular users.
Okay.
You can handle users with followers like top.
I think so. Yeah, I think that is making more sense.
More like top 1,000, top 2,000 followers. All their posts will be in a special cache. More multiple geography pairs.
Okay, so one of the things we can do, let's say bare minimum, is to just crunch the database, thrash it, make it for every post you can get it from that post ID. All right, that's one approach. how are you going to do it over there? And based on that, we can easily cache the data then. So let's start with the bare minimum, which is go to the database and fetch stuff. How are you going to do that? Because after all of our approaches are based on that only, that at the end of the day, you have to sometimes go to the database. How are you going to do that? Popular people have their posts cached. This is what everyone is agreeing on. Okay, so if I am a popular person, which is a celebrity, I'm going to be having, let's say, just by figuring out how many followers I have, let's say the top 1% of most popular people in Instagram are going to have individual queues assigned to them. That's how special they are. On this queue, I'm going to be keeping their latest activity, like in the messaging queue, which we read. Now, when a person asks, hey, not a message queue, but anyway, hey, what's the latest activity? You just pull it out of this cache and give it to them. Is this fast? Much, much faster than what we had in the database itself. No, this is correct. I think it's fine. I think everyone will agree that this is pretty good. Yeah? Okay, I think we have taken care of then the newsfeed to followers also. And one obvious thing is that, of course, there's not one image store, there's hundreds. This is all distributed. We have just drawn the bare architecture. This is really, I think, it's a really good system. Okay, great guys job. Great job, guys. Well done. Thank you.